Hi guys, it's me, Indiana Jones, and this is going to be a departure from what I usually do, which is my wacky stuff or my crafting stuff. And I thought it was something that was important for me, and I have great respect for people on both sides of the fence, and you'll understand why after I'm finished with this. And I'm being bonked by a kitty cat down here, so if you hear a cat meowing, you know that's Tiger. Anyway, so I went to see the movie Unplanned, opening weekend, Thursday, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And since then, I've been wanting to do a review. Now, maybe I was scared and I was hesitant because it's such a volatile issue, but above and beyond that, I thought it was an important film. Being a filmmaker, producer, and an actress myself, I wanted to comment on this film, as well as being Catholic. And yes, I'm Catholic, and I don't want to push that upon anyone, but it does have a foundation as to what I'm going to say. Anyway, first about the movie. So Unplanned, if you haven't heard about it, it's a movie, a story about a woman, Abby Johnston, who was a director for an abortion clinic and or a women's health clinic, and later had a change of heart when she got deeper and deeper and understood what was really happening in the film. She worked there for 8 years. She was Employee of the Year for this organization. So, needless to say, I mean, she has information and she's seen it firsthand. Not only that, but she had gone through 2 abortions herself. So, starting there, let's start there. Next, one of the things, as far as the movie is concerned, one of the things I love movies. You guys know this. I love TV. I love movies. I love watching that entertainment medium. It sends a message. It influences. It horrifies. It inspires. That's what film and TV and acting is for me. As far as Christian films are concerned, some of them are a little hokey for me. I don't know if I'm too rough or too, cynical, but I like to appreciate the art as well as the message. This film really did a very good job in conveying both the message and the art itself. Of all the films that I've seen recently, this one really worked hard on the development of a script, of the characters, of the actors. The only criticism I have, the only one I have, is that there was too much internal dialogue. And I was brought up with show don't tell, and I feel in other Christian films I see that they do that as well. It's a very used tool to convey the message. And the thing is that the storyline and the dialogue held up on its own, as well as the acting ability of the actors. It held its own. You didn't have to see the internal turmoil. You didn't have to hear about it through dialogue, through this internal dialogue. You could see it through the actors, through what they were suffering, through what they were going through. So that was my overall critique of the film itself. What happens in the film? Okay, first of all, this was a film that was rated R. One of the first and few films that is Christian, other than oh gosh, now I can't remember it. The Passion of the Christ. And I'm glad that it was. A lot of people were upset that it was rated R, but I'm glad that it was because number one, the topic, the subject matter is pretty. It's striking. It's not for children. It really isn't. Although we should speak to our children early on, especially young girls early on, and to boys, they have responsibilities as well. But it was very graphic, and it wasn't needlessly graphic. I think it was very realistic. And it's funny because while I was there, because I have been following, this issue about abortion and stuff for years and years and years. So while I was there in the movie, I thought it was interesting that within the first 10 minutes, there is a simulation of an actual abortion that was performed by, believe it or not, the actor that they chose to play the abortion doctor had been an abortion doctor and had done over 1,200 abortions in his lifetime. And he was there. That's Dr. Anthony Levantino. So if you want to look him up. He has spoken before Congress and very intelligent and articulate doctor of OBGYN. So he actually was in the movie, and I thought that was very interesting and very it needed to be that way. Needed to be that way. But they do perform an actual and simulated abortion, and it is bloody. It is scary because that's the truth of it. People around me started crying and they started getting like sick, and I was surprised because I thought, oh my gosh, maybe I've been desensitized from, watching too many horror films or something like that. But it didn't affect me, but like that. But the fact of the matter is that I had been aware of what actually took place in the procedure. Not that I had one myself, but I've researched it and I've seen it, and I know what happens and how the fetus is torn apart and what have you. And for a lot of people to see that in full color is a little surprising. It was like, I think it was a 14-week abortion that they did. So I thought that was very important that they kept true to reality. The fact that Abby Johnson herself commented and showed, not only in her book, because this comes from her book called Unplanned, but in the movie itself, shows how she herself found herself in situations where she also decided to have an abortion. And the fact of the matter is, that was the other wonderful thing I liked about this film, was the humanization of people on both sides of the fence. Both the clinic workers and the Christians on the other side of the fence, or the religious on the other side of the fence that were praying. And also they made a serious comment about people who would hold up pictures of dead babies and garbage cans and this and that and the other, showing that what we need is not to place blame, to scare, or to hurt, to further hurt women that are faced with this situation, with these decisions, but to treat them with compassion. And to help them, not to make them feel bad, not to make them feel worse or like sinners or what have you, but to reach out to them and truly offer them an alternative to what they think is their only alternative. And I think that was very important, that they made a commentary on both sides of the fence, that neither one of us are doing this perfectly. And I think that was the most important message. For me, the most important message that I feel is important, not just for people who are pro-life, but also for those who are pro-choice, to watch the film and research, find out the truth, find out more information, especially if you're on the fence, if you're not really sure. And especially with everything that's going on, I say especially a lot, I'm sorry, with all these bills now that are pushing the right to have an abortion well into, the 9th month. And I have, I had a preemie. My eldest was a preemie, and he was born at like 31 weeks. He was less than 3 pounds. He was barely, he was just a little over 2 pounds, and he survived, and he's beautiful, and he's 6 foot tall and 19 and healthy, thank goodness. But the fact that I know that people have the right now, in some states, are going to have the right to abort a baby, even at that point where it is viable outside of the womb, it's just very scary. It's really scary, and it should frighten us. And again, I don't think this is a religious issue. I don't think this is an issue about Christians or Catholics or Jews or Muslims. This is a human issue. And I think, especially as women, we have to take a closer look, do our research, and find out what's really going on. Not just, to be these righteous soldiers or whatever, but more than anything, to offer more compassion, offer help, offer alternatives to women that find themselves in desperate situations. So anyway, Tiger is meowing away, so he wants me to open the door. But I just wanted to finish off by saying, please, if you have a chance, go see Unplanned. If you have a teenage child, if they're over 12 or 13, and you can gauge your teenager, because some teenagers are used to seeing horror films. And I don't think this was unnecessarily violent. I think it was very honest. And but there are moments that might make people cringe, might make them sad, but it's necessary. Again, thank you again for listening. I love you both, regardless, love you both, love you all, regardless of what side of the fence you find yourself. please, if you're going to make a comment, please be respectful of everyone. I really appreciate my whole audience base. I don't do this to upset anyone, to get you angry, to try to change your mind. I just wanted to share my experience and not necessarily promote the film, but just promote the fact that we need to be proactive and just find out the truth, regardless of which side we're on, and to help each other, to be compassionate, especially as women, and to pray for each other. If you are a prayerful person, pray about the issue. If you have a friend that finds themselves in a situation where they have an unplanned pregnancy, help them find other resources, all the resources that are available, and not to feel that they only have one choice, that there are other choices. And again, I just want to thank you all for your time, for your consideration, and I really appreciate you all for being supporters of my channel. And I look forward to doing more crafts, and I'm sorry I've been a little negligent on posting. It's just I have a full-time, very busy job. As you can see, I'm still dressed, and it's already, what, 9 o'clock, and I'm still in my office wear, so that tells you a lot. But I really do appreciate you all, and consider you all part of my friends and family. And again, look forward to doing more crafting. Hopefully I can do something this weekend for Easter. And just wish you the best. God bless. Take care. And lots of love to you all.